going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Jig and Set Radio. We're here with yet another guest. But before we get started, make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe to all the podcasts that we have. Because guess what? It's free, Jiggers. So, without further ado, welcome to the stage, Ayron Michaels, y'all. Y'all make some noise, y'all. Yay! So, welcome to the show. So he's one of the other guests, y'all, that we've been trying to get on the show. There's no shade, but it's a lot of shade. But I'm actually giving him the claps that he needs to actually be on the show. Hey, welcome and all those things that's included with that. But y'all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
If you do not mind, tell the people who you are, where you're from, etc., and we'll go from there.
Awesome. My name is Ayron Michael.
Okay.
I'm an American pop artist, originally from Florida, with Bahamian descent.
Okay.
And definitely I started in R&B, but pop is where I love to stay because I definitely love the upbeat rhythm of it. And this is me.
Okay, so and we'll definitely flush out all those details regarding your music career and everything. But I like to ask the guests because it helps paint a picture for everyone that's trying to get to know the guest and etc. Tell us about your upbringing because you say you're originally from Florida, and so tell us about that upbringing.
Absolutely. So born and raised in Florida, I am the product of I would say a religious household on my dad and my mother's side. Yeah. From my grandfather, my grandmother, my great uncle, all pastors. Yeah. So I lived in church. Okay. Whether it be Sunday school, church, then I had to go to church again on my other family side, and then after sung in church, sung in the choir since I was little. So that is my background. And I think my family always wanted me to hey, you're gonna either preach or you're gonna sing gospel. And I did neither. Okay. But that definitely was my background. Went to school, went to college. I always say, hey, I'm going to have that second, that plan B. But since I was little, I always wanted to sing. I was definitely a Michael Jackson lover. Yeah. I would be on Saturdays when I'm out of school. I use that wooden floor and I turn on it and I had my little stage and where the carpet began, that's where the people were. Nobody can see, but I can see the people. So, that was difficult. But I love singing. So sung in school choir as well. Led, I used to instruct choir, so that's kind of my background. That's how my foundation of singing began, based off my faith and how my family brought me up. Okay,
and so at any point and I know this is very common in Black households, how the religion of the household, it's a household religion. We all going to church, we all going to Sunday school and everything. But when we start having our own dreams, we start having our own things that we aspire to be, did that ever play a part as far as your journey? I'm afraid that I'm gonna be looked at or shunned because I'm deciding to go in the direction of pop or R&B or whatever the case is. Did you feel like you would have the consistent support when you decided to actually make a career out of it?
I always thought I was going to have support. There was never any concern about that. Okay. It was just always my grandmother saying, or my great aunt saying, hey, you probably just saying gospel, right? So even when I graduated college and I took after college, I didn't go straight to work. I wanted to see about doing music. On Sundays, I would sing in the choir that morning, and that night I was at a club, but they came out to see me. Okay. And I was singing clubs, but they came out to support me. So as long as in their mind I didn't forget about where I came from, they were okay with it. But they always said, "Oh, I would definitely love a gospel song." They would always come. But no, I've always had the support. Yeah. Just because I think I always did what the family wanted, right? I did well in school. I went ahead and did this. I didn't just say, oh, I'm going to go out and do that. I always, made them happy at the same time. Okay. So I always had support.
So you were a good representation for the family. So you never in your mind, you think, okay, they're going to shine me.
No, not at all. not at all.
So with that being said, do you have any siblings or anything?
Oh, yes, I do. I have 6.
Okay.
I have 6.
And where do you fall in that?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
So I'm the oldest, and it's between my mom and dad because my dad was kind of Rolling Stone. But
Papa was a road.
Yeah. but yeah, most of them come from him.
Okay.
I'm the oldest, and I know all of them. Mm-hmm. I'm always looked at as a big brother, and people listen to me. I don't look like I'm the oldest, but I am the oldest. And when I say that, people's like, dang. But no, my mom totally only had 3 kids. Okay. The rest of them is through my dad.
So would you say, I'll just ask it, how important is family to you? Because I know we've had a lot of guests on the show. I'll ask with whether their ministry is in music or acting or etc. They always use family as a root. They always come back to family in whatever it is that they do. So what does that stake look like for you? How important is family to you?
I would say now family is very important, but it hasn't always been. Okay. I'm an Aquarius. Okay. So I like being alone. So I've always even when I was little, I would only be with my mom or my parents maybe 2 days. Mm-hmm. Somebody would drop me off as a baby, and in a day or two, somebody else is picking me up. Yeah, okay. So I was always, from little, always gone. Mm-hmm. And so in my life, I've always, I'm not the person that says I have to live in the same city as my family and around the corner. Exactly. I don't today. Yeah. So my family is used to that. Yeah. So people say, oh, you're not close to your family because they're not around. Right. No. They can call me when they need me or whatever. But as I've gotten older, I have appreciated more. So I call them more. I could go 2 months and not call anybody. Hey, everybody's fine. Yeah. But now I'm intentional about family. I call all the time. I try to go visit because I understand that, people are not always there, and it's important to hear your voice and get your eyes on them. So I've grown up.
Okay, we'll take that. Come on. So when it comes to you being in the music industry, right? And you see different chapters. There's different layers. We all have, not just in the music industry, just any career you decide to go down. There's different layers you peel back to get to the root of yourself. What would you say was that journey for you? Because you started in Florida. You had you were alone sometimes, and you were able to be in your thoughts. So how important is it for someone to be centered and understand their true self?
I think in music, I started out, again, just wanting to sing. Right. And then trying to sing, I guess, what I thought people want to hear or what's popular, right? Mm-hmm. So my journey in music was, I guess, finding my voice and my sound. Right. And it took a long time because God has blessed me with a talent that I can mimic any sound. So if I was sing something, I was like, I'm singing like this person. I'm singing like this person. And it took me a while to say, I need to sing like Aaron Michael. Exactly. And what I say and the feeling that I want people to have needs to be about me. Right. So that was a journey. And the only reflection I would have for that back to my childhood is when I sung in church. Yeah. The thing that excited me is people would say, when you sing, I feel it. Yes. And when I started out in music, I didn't hear that. Right? Oh, you sound good, but I ain't feel nothing. My favorite artist is Mary J. Blige, and that's what I like about her because I can feel. Yes. I can feel what she's talking about. Yeah. And I wanted that. And until you become true to yourself and put your individuality in that music and express that, until I did that is when I got that back from people. Mm-hmm. And so that's been my journey, and I'm glad that I'm at that place now. But it took a long time because you're stuck on what the industry wants you to do. You want the numbers, you want whatever. So, you want the popular sound, you want something like this. I would hear music, and yes, I like that, but that's not what they play on the radio. I need to go to this one. Yeah. But this was what I need, right? Because if you're true to yourself, your audience will come. Your fans will come. They'll be there. So I think that for me was the journey, but it took me, I think, a long time to get there.
Okay. Well, Aaron Michaels, where did that name come from?
So Aaron Michael is Hebrew. It means mountain of strength.
Nice.
And when I guess, was creating that name, it wasn't for me, the artist. Mm-hmm. It was for, hey, if I have a son, this is what I want his name to be. Okay. And then I said, but I want a junior. So, and then I kept saying, oh, this is like 2 first names. I was like, this will be great. So I was making the transition, coming out with my first full album because I had did singles back then. I was like, I'm gonna take that name. Mm-hmm. I like it. It means something. It means something to me. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the name came. It came nothing out of anything that dealt with music, but it became a part of me.
Okay. The humble beginnings of when you started your journey as an artist. Mm-hmm. Talk about that, because every artist has like this story that they have. Like, oh my God, like we were filming in this abandoned building because we didn't have any money, or we was in my mama basement, echoes galore because we didn't have any money for soundproofing or whatever. So what is, like, when you did your first single, like what was that experience? Like, oh my God, I want to put something out there. That first single, let's talk about that.
So my first single was me saying, hey, I'm going to take this serious. Found a producer. I was living in Atlanta at the time. Okay. Found this producer. And I was like, hey, I just got with him to say, hey, I'm going to try to record this. I wrote this song. It was okay. It wasn't that good. Okay. Because, I could sing, but I wasn't like that writer. So it wasn't that good. And I would go to his house, and I remember going, he had a makeshift, I would say he had a makeshift closet, right? The closet was all paid up, or I'm in the closet and I'm singing, right? But I was just so excited about, quote unquote, being in the booth, and it wasn't the booth, it was the paid up booth. So we did the song, and it was okay, and he was like, you sound really, really good. Let's go ahead and do like a video. So we did a video, maybe just at his house. I'm coming, I'm opening down. My acting was horrible.
I have to see this now.
Yeah. I would definitely show it. It was horrible, and that's when at that point I was going through, and that was horrible. But then after that, I was like, I got that bug. I was just like, okay, I can do this, And I sat down. I had met a friend at work at the time and she used to be a rapper. She was very good at rapping. We sat down, we wrote the song, and we ended up writing 3 songs together. And I thought they were good. We went to record them, and that's when I learned about other stuff. I went to a real studio this time. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to do a video, but when you start off, you don't have a lot of money.
Exactly.
Found this guy who had seen me sing, and he was like, I can do 2 videos for it. It's going to be $500. And his name was Seymour. That was his nickname. Seymour from his tall, very skinny guy. He talked real fast. He's like, I got you. Oh, God. We're supposed to do 2 videos in 2 days, which took 4 days. Because Seymour could not stay focused.
Oh,
right?
my God.
And I'm afraid of heights. And I remember, now I knew exactly where I wanted to do these videos. So that was a good thing. I remember trying to sit on a brick wall, and it's like maybe 3 stories high. So when I sit on the wall, it's on a gas station. I could just walk and sit down, just like I'm doing right now. But on this side, the ground is 3 stories below. Oh, wow. And I'm sitting there, and it's like, we want you to do this. They're directing me. I don't want to do any of that. I am afraid. I am afraid. And when it got done, all of the filming, all of the takes, they didn't edit them very well.
Oh, shit.
So the good thing is the producer that I dealt with, he's kind of techie. Mm-hmm. So he know how to do everything. Yeah. So we took all of them, he edited them, and then we realized, this is when I learned about B-Reel. Oh, yes. We didn't have enough B-Reel.
It was all on you.
It was all on me. So I just so happened to be going to California. I was going to be opening up for Tank. Mm-hmm. And he was like, take this, take that. So I, with my phone, took videos of me on the plane, all these different things. I did this makeshift shower scene, and he figured out how to put it in, and then that edited those 2 videos. And I like the videos. They came out very well.
Yeah.
I remember being on the railroad track and was like, is this an opera railroad? We would hear the sounds and I'm scared thinking the train gonna come. Yeah. But yeah, that was the beginning. Like, I think it's fun. I look back now, even I was just like, oh. And $500 is a lot for me at that point in time. But now, $500, I can't get no video right these days. Exactly. Unless you're doing everything yourself. Yeah. And the phones were not as good as
the quality of the phones definitely was giving trash. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. So, looking at your journey, what was like the highlight of it? Do you feel like when you said, I am so inspired, like this is like my favorite track, like what would you say is your favorite track that you've done? Or project that you've worked on?
I would say my favorite track is Hold My Hand. Okay. And this is when I worked with this producer out of California. I did an EP. I did 3 songs with him. He wrote them. I went in, edited, changed some stuff, so kind of co-wrote with him. But I went into this huge studio, had never been in it, where it's 4 rooms, right? There's a room for a whole band to be in, or orchestra. There's a room, and I'm way over here. The recording was good because this is how I really learned how to record, because it was like, sing something, right? Sing your part. Okay, sing it again. Sing it again. It wasn't like, oh, you were all pitched here and here. They just knew to say, keep singing it. And we done took 10 takes of that. We know how to take all the good and just make it, right? And so it didn't take long to do that. And what was exciting about that, because I had the songs for a month, learned all the songs, went in there, sung it. But that EP got shot to Sony. And Hold My Hand, which I did love doing that song, came back as, we like this song, but we want to hear more. Right? Okay. It was about like, do more, because they want to know, can you sing, this was great, but can you do it over and over and over, right? Because we feel like we're going to make you like this pop ballad artist. And then it was like, I had spent my $4,000 and the producer at that time was like, no, we're going to keep doing it. And I didn't have enough money to go and record again. Yeah. But for me, that was the validation that I needed to say, let me keep doing what I'm doing.
Right. Okay. Well, we definitely going to learn more about you and your journey. But before we do that, we're going to take a short break, allow some words from our sponsors, so we'll be right back, y'all. And we are back from break, you guys. Still here with Ayron Miles. He's been doing such a great job getting some more noise, make some more energy for him. Before we went on break, we talked about his career as a musician, as an artist, and just his humble beginnings and everything that's associated and affiliated with that. So we're going to just keep on that track and just go from there and see where the rabbit hole takes us. One of my favorite phrases. So you were, before break again, we were talking about your humble beginnings. And my next question that I want to propose to you is, aside from your favorite project, what was like a defeating moment in your career? I think it's equally important for people to showcase or talk about the triumphant moments and the ones that kind of like made me like, I might want to step back from this. Do you have any of those you want to share?
Yeah, I think for me, the most defeating moment was I had a manager for a very long time, and he was basically like a family member. And when I started working with the producer I work with now, Kemar McGregor, we were getting ready after we, so great thing that happened there is I was selected to redo Purple Rain by Prince. And so
that's a big thing.
So I did that song, and then I did the first song that I worked with him, was the first time I kind of branched into kind of a Caribbean sound. Yeah. And they were saying, hey, we finna go shop this. Right. And the producer at the time was more so acting as an advisor to say, hey, make sure all your paperwork and everything is together. And at that time, because of all the things I was planning to do, I was like, okay, we got to do a new management contract. you know, hey, we're going to do 10% here because I'm going to have all these other people. And I think the anticipation of money and what comes into it means that made there be a split between the both of us. Like, nope, I'm getting 20%. I'm doing this, and I'm trying my best to like make it all because I'm like, hey, as the artist, I gotta pay for everything, right? You gotta pay for all these people, and then you get what's left.
Right.
And as I'm looking at these percentages, I'm like, hey, it's not gonna be a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I'm paying for everything. As an independent artist, you pay for everything. You got a manager, and I'm not dissing managers at all because you need them. Like, he was valuable to me. Mm-hmm. But I'm shilling this out, right? And all I wanted to do is redo and say, hey, let's do 10. Like, if things go up, because at that point I want to do acting. I know I want to do all this. Hey, I'm gonna have this person and this person, and they're not saying, hey, we want 20% of your music. Right. We want 20% of everything that you bring as a brand.
Right.
So he's gonna get this, he's gonna get that, and we ended up not agreeing.
Right.
To a point where I had to get a lawyer to get me out of the original contract that I was in. And
which ended up costing
me money. Because I remember saying, okay, this is going to be like this. I remember having to call the lawyer and be on the payment plan for the rest. Even though, and then it went nowhere. Like, we did all of that, and there was no contract coming from a major label that the anticipation was.
Yeah.
And even till this day, I think it was a good thing for the parting of it, but I really wish that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Because you would want for the people that you started out with, that you get to finish with when you feel yourself that you've made it. And that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So for me, but it also taught me that I really needed to pay more attention to the business aspect of it.
Right.
And when you have went to school and you know this and that, I also felt I was doing too much because I always said I just want to be the artist.
Yeah.
And then I was doing all of the business as well. So you want 20%, but I'm really doing all of it. Like, I'm reviewing contracts. Yeah. Like, I'm the one that's making the edits of the contracts. They weren't making the edits of the contracts. Right. Like, I'm looking at it and saying, hey, this is not what it's supposed to be. And so after that, I had to learn how to make a balance because as an artist, you can't just be the artist.
Right.
You can't just be the talent.
Yeah.
You have to know enough of the business to understand what you're getting into, even though you are paying these people to do that job.
Yeah.
But you have to be the boss to even hold them accountable to that.
Right.
So I also make sure that anytime I go into a contract, there is a way for me to be out. Like, I'm holding you accountable, you hold me accountable. And if we're not meeting, there's a be out. You don't just say, oh, no, you locked in. It's 3 years. No, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Exactly. So for me, that was a turning point because it was a learning, but it also hurt my feelings. Like, it was like, nah, I'll just like, this is a person that I took like, hey, this is my father figure in this business.
Yeah.
And I am grateful for how far they brought me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they weren't being realistic.
Yes.
To the fact that you can move on and keep going. Like, you probably manage multiple people.
Yeah. Right.
It's just me, and I got to pay for all this.
Yeah, and then of course that's going to affect your career. Like, regardless of what happens, good or bad, that's going to affect your career. So, what I heard was that it is important to wear multiple hats coming into the industry, knowing of course, being the artist. There's that realm, but the administrative side and like the financial side, managing money, understanding contracts. Would you say that everyone across the board, even if you have a manager, you should be in the rooms and having those conversations, not just depend on one person to just manage everything? You should be fully engaged. Would you say that's
absolutely
okay?
Absolutely, because it doesn't matter if it's music or any other type of business. And people find this a lot when they deal with lawyers, right? They're thinking the lawyer is on their half, but if the other side is looking good, they're always in it for themselves.
Absolutely.
And so you are probably the only one that's going to have your best interest at heart.
Exactly.
So you need to be a part of that. And, as things go, even if you've been together for a long time and you're like family, you still have to watch out for yourself. And you can't always just be in the now. You got to be thinking about the future.
Yeah.
But you do want to surround yourself with people who will do their job so you can focus on being that artist.
Yeah.
Because many times I've been too much into the business and not have been as creative as I should have been. And I need to be 100% creative when it's time to be creative.
Yeah.
And then be business when it's time to be business, which should come after my creativity is done.
Right.
If I'm still doing that, I'm not putting the best project out, and I'm not representing myself as I should be as an artist.
So that was all for the business side, but on the personal side, what do you do? What do you like to do on your downtime rather, to help balance all of that stuff out? Because being an artist is a whole job in itself, right? And so, like, what do you like to do on your personal time to kind of like, you know what, I need this so that way I get creativity or inspiration to bring to my music, my platform. What do you like to do in your downtime?
Spend time alone. Spend time alone.
Running things.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you. I am true. I am true to it. Like, spend that time alone. Sometimes in my thoughts, I have taken up meditation, which is a better way of being alone than my way of being alone, because I'm an avid binge watcher, and I'll just be watching my Netflix show and I'll be lost for days in that. Not thinking about nothing but the show, just into it. But meditation has allowed me, because it has allowed me to tap into myself and tap in more into my creativity.
Yeah.
And it allows for when I get back into the artistry or the business to be able to manage it. Like, just to manage it and be balanced and say, okay, cool. No matter what you're throwing at me, I'm good. And, you know, so that allows that level of meditation, or just going within myself and connecting, has allowed me to be able to manage it all.
The artist that you are, you mentioned earlier having the right circle of people that you can trust as an artist, and so that way they can uphold or be able to showcase that this is what the artist wants, and our job is to be that representation. What about your friend circle? Like, having that, again, going back to that balance, right? And how important is it to have those right people around you to encourage you, to support you? Because on the business side, you have those people, well, you should have those people in place. On the personal side, you know, you mentioned family, and we're talking about friends and et cetera. Like, how important is that to have that balance? Being able to be around people that are also doing things so that it pushes you, inspire you. We'll hope so. Will inspire you as well. Like, how important is it to have that balance in a personal sense?
Friends have been like the most important, to be honest. Okay. So because I think I lean on them more than I lean on the people that's professionally supposed to be supporting me.
Okay.
Right. So because I feel like I'm gonna get honesty. From my friends, and they mean the best for me. Right. So is it every aspect of it? We can be getting to do this great project or this best deal. Hey, there's friends that, hey, I'm sending this track. What do you think about this? What do you think about this song? Or, you know, I'm about to take these photos. This is what I think I'm gonna wear. What you gonna do? Like, I don't need to talk to the stylist. I'm gonna talk to this person. Like, this person they're not gonna have me going out looking a certain way. Yeah. And it's something that I had to build over time, because I was so used to doing everything, I wasn't being trusting of that. But when you have good friends, and I'm the type of person, just because, and you're going to say it's a running thing, I probably won't talk to you for a month, or 2 months, right? But I have friends that, hey, when I call them, it's like we were talking yesterday. Okay. Like, we're able to pick back up, and I say, hey, I got this going on. They will stop what they're doing and say, okay, what we need to do? Yeah. What you got going on? So, friends. My friends have definitely, even now, like, those are the people that I lean on and are like a part of my team. And as I get to the point where, hey, I'm able to say, do this 100%, and that's all, those are who I'm going to be looking at and say, hey, you tired of doing what you want to do? You know, to a certain extent, right? Because sometimes you want your friends to be your friends, and you don't want to be a part of that. But you know, I value their support and their opinion.
So, you know, I did that transition on purpose, because I know that you use your friends in the most recent project that you're working on. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that, because I know that you're working on a certain project.
Yeah.
That's why I plugged in the friend thing and everything. And so, and the seeing, because I was part of that experience, guys, and it was so incredible. And I felt very honored for the various hats that I wore in that project. So talk about that experience. Talk about the inspiration behind the song. And then how was it working with your friends, having them wearing the hats that you assigned? How was that whole experience?
So the song that I got coming out April 19th is Love Story.
Yeah.
It's definitely a song about being in love, really realizing that this person is your person. Mm-hmm. And recorded the song and love the song. Definitely a pop track, ready for radio, international sound. And it was time, it's like, oh, we need a video, right? We're going to do differently. Like this year, we're going to do differently. We're going to do every marketing aspect possible about this single, just put it all into it. And I was like, oh, I got to do a video. So little note, the song was released on YouTube and it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, the song's out. And I was like, I'm just rolling with the flow. Oh, the song's out. We got to go figure this thing out.
Yeah.
So I say we got to do a video, and we need to do a video like ASAP. Don't have time to fly out to a special location, right? Because at first I wrote like, hey, we're going to do this on the beach. We're going to have this band. This is how we're going to do it. Don't have time for that. I live in Dallas, Texas. What are we going to do? So,
go with gals.
Bruh. Wasn't thinking. So I was like, okay, but then you have to cast people, because the whole thought was like all these people having a very good time.
Yeah.
And we need to cast all these people. Don't have time to cast all these people. So I called my friends and said, oh, okay. And then I was like, I need help. So I assigned people. Hey, this is what I need to do. We need to figure out what we're wear. We need to write this. And everybody kind of stepped up and said, hey, I'm going to do this. And I thought about what I saw people do on a regular basis. Like I saw this person was good at this. I saw this person good. So I let them be great at what they normally do. Yeah. And I gave everybody a task. Everybody came together. Yeah. I could have dropped a hat, whether it be location. Yeah, you can do it at my new house. I ain't even moved in yet. Yeah. Found a photographer, found a videographer. Yeah. That was cool. We went through the part of, hey, this is the song, and he came back like, hey, I like the music, so I'm gonna work with you. And it came together better than I thought it was. Yeah. Like, and everybody was like, what you want me to do, we're gonna do it. Yeah. And I really felt very touched by it, because yes, I know I was gonna ask people to do stuff, whatever, but I really didn't expect people to like show up and really like show up, and that really showed me like I have good friends. Yeah. And it really, after that, I was like, I need to be a better friend too. I mean, stop sticking in my Aquarius ways, not be picking up the phone or texting a little bit more. So I try to do that, but so it came out, and then we realized that the production was like, oh. We need to pull that. And so they call YouTube and pull the song and say, we're not ready. And then they went back and asked me, okay, when do you want this out again? And it's been pushed a lot, but I think it's happening when it's supposed to happen. Because by the time the song releases or whatever, it's going to be summer. And that's what it gives. Yeah. Even though we filmed it in the fall. Yeah. We filmed it in the fall. But you'll learn that in any production. It's like, just because it looks on the camera like it's summertime, it's probably not. Mm-hmm. Because we in shorts and it wasn't warm. But yeah, so that's the project. I love doing that. It definitely has a Caribbean type feel to it. Yes. And so we try to give that, but also be true to the artist that I am, that's not necessarily, about background, but we're playing in that space.
Yeah, for sure. So, first off, shout out to you for that. Y'all give me a round of applause. Make sure you said, what was the day? Tell the people the day again.
April 19th.
April 19th. So make sure you guys check it out. What platforms will be available?
All digital platforms.
All digital platforms, okay.
And then the video.
Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to you, man.
I also have the video link in the description of this episode.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
We will also provide all the avenues in which you can listen or stream, whatever the case is, guys. The next question I have for you is, because you went through that experience, you were able to lean into your friends, showing, I guess, showcasing to you that they have value. You have an investment in them. They have an investment in you, and understanding that there is a balance in this universe that's required in order for you to move forward. Right. So my next question is, how many times do you feel that an artist has to reinvent themselves in order for them to grow?
Ooh.
Come on, Oprah Jr.
Probably. I would say it is a constant evaluation.
Okay. As it should be, right?
And I think artists probably reinvent themselves multiple times.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have to grow, not just, as an artist, as a person, but just as everything is going around, you're going to grow and you're going to reinvent yourselves. I think I have, like, from looks to sound, just because I told you before, I was finding that sound. And so now redoing. And I'm probably going to do it again in probably a few years, right?
Yeah.
It's just going to happen. Just even as your friendships and your business grows, you reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what also fans want to see, right?
Right.
They want to grow with you.
Exactly.
So because they're changing, like no one is always the same, right? You're just become a different version of yourself. But
Exactly.
I think it's many times.
Well, yeah, for sure. So, a little birdie also told me that you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
So let's talk about the business that you have.
Yes. So the business I have is called Redline Lending.
Mm-hmm.
It is what I call the one-stop shop for business owners.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually related to the music, because I told you I had to know the business side.
Exactly.
And one of the things I've learned as an artist is I always had to finance myself. And so I learned how to not leverage me as a person, but leverage setting up a business and getting funding for the business to support my projects.
Yeah.
Versus being the artist that's waiting for one of those record labels to fund you. Because basically I learned it's just business. Hey, we're going to give you some money. We're investing in you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get our money back. We're going to get all the money back that we gave you.
Yeah.
Plus a percentage of everything else, right? So
percentage of that.
And a percentage of that. So Redline Lending is, number one, a business platform, but we also offer business coaching from starting to, hey, setting up your business properly to getting the funding that you need and also how to grow. And it's something that I started in 2022.
Yeah.
And again, I learned that just because that's what I was doing, trying to fund my music career.
Yeah.
And then I saw the opportunity to not just about music, but everything. So I use the degree I had and put my knowledge together and say, how do I make this one? And so we're relaunching this year, really getting into more of the marketing space. I would say on the funding side, we're very, very close to Lending Tree, because we deal with over 50 different lenders, and especially fintech lenders. So you're not having to deal with, say, some of the traditional banks.
Right.
You're now getting into where it's a little bit easier for you to be financed. So we help with that. We also help with the personal side, because sometimes you're not quite ready as your business, and you use the personal to fund that.
Yeah.
So we're showing people how to start on the personal side, transition to the business side, so that you're working just like any other business, even though it might be your music or whatever, your podcast, whatever you're doing, that it can be in your business now, you're funding it and you're working that way. And then really teaching people how to manage money in that way, right? Because people say, okay, someone gave me, if you get a loan, whether it be for a loan or personally somebody gave you $10,000, you need to say, hey, if I get this $10,000, I should be able to, invest it, buy product, whatever that is, make a profit and pay the 10 back and understand, because you might pay it back, but tomorrow they'll give it back, the 10 back to you. How do you keep using that 10,000 to keep doing your business? And people are because we're not taught this, right? You think you get a $10,000 loan, you're supposed to be paying that off for like 3 years or 4 years. Right. No, $10,000, you got 30 days. learn how to know what to do with that.
Exactly.
And then you'll get 10 more. But it should be the same 10, right? So you're not doing that. So that's what we teach people. And I'm happy to say this year we're going to be expanding, and I think I'm going to become a real boss. Because I'm going to hire people, right?
Yeah.
And so I was a little hesitant of doing it, and I wanted to be a 1, 2, 3 people man show, but I know that that's what I need to do, because I want to eventually be not just funding my own personal project, but say, hey, that is a person and that company can help fund other projects. Because we're getting to the point that most artists that are out, they're all on independent labels. Yeah. Even though you might see Sony or Warner or anything like that, they're independent.
Yeah. So that's really great. And then also just keeping in mind the fact that you are an artist in the industry, so it gives you additional credibility, because people are like, okay, he's gone through this journey. He's shown us what is necessary, the ins and outs, the roadblocks you can run into, and especially being the capital being the biggest thing in order for you to grow, and leveraging other people's money in order for you to progress, and how to manage the money once it is in your possession, and the obligation and responsibilities that come with it. So I commend you for doing that, being that pillar for the industry. The one last thing I want to talk about is the jingle for the show. Yes. So random fact, guys, for you guys watching, streaming, listening, the voice that you hear on the jingle is Ayron Michaels. And again, that's why I said it took a while to get him on this damn show, child. Because it took a while to get the damn jingle. So we definitely appreciate it, because the moment that we actually, of course I shopped it to a couple people before it became the actual jingle for the show, and they was like, this is giving island vibes. It's giving like I need to listen in. I need to know what happens after this jingle ends. Like that's what it was giving, and then of course it just coincides with your style of music in general. And so everyone was like, yeah, we need to hear more from him. So I said, well, we gotta get him on the show. So after about 3 attempts, you stop counting it? Yeah.
He probably asked me 3 times on his own.
Yeah, which is definitely more than I would definitely say I asked anyone to be on the show. But definitely appreciate you being here. But before we leave and wrap up, tell the people how to follow you, find you, follow your music, and then tell them again the project dates for the most current project. Tell them the dates of this drop.
Absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram and Facebook as Ayron Michael Music. Mm-hmm. The project is Love Story. Comes out April 19th. Video and song. So definitely check it out. Stream, like and share. Also, you can get me at Ayron Michael, which is spelled Ayron, on YouTube as well, where you can see all my videos and content. All right, cool.
Well, with that being said, guys, that's a wrap for us. Appreciate you guys for joining. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. The content. It was. Wasn't it? Yes. I'm not editing that. This is going to stay in the podcast. But appreciate you guys for joining. Until next time, guys. We're out.
I'm Ayron Michael, and I just got finished with the podcast on Jigga Set Radio. Tune in.